The Galactic Council's emergency session had been called for the first time in 300 cycles. Ambassador Zelthric of the Communion stood before the assembled representatives, his chromatic plates shifting through colors of distress that needed no translation. "The sensors do not lie," he announced, his voice trembling through the translation matrix. 20,000 vessels, all bearing human signatures, all converging on council space. A wave of disbelief rippled through the chamber. The Vryn delegate, a towering insectoid creature, clicked its mandibles in what could only be interpreted as laughter. Impossible. Humanity barely had 12 colony worlds when Admiral Sarah Chen vanished into the Perseus arm, Zelthric finished. 347 years ago. The name hung in the air like a ghost. Every species present knew the story. How humanity's greatest military commander had taken her experimental fleet, just 47 ships beyond charted space, searching for a solution to the Devourers, the extra-dimensional entities that had consumed 17 civilizations. She had promised to return with a weapon, a strategy, anything that could stop them. She never came back. Humanity, already reeling from losses, had fragmented, their colonies scattered, their once unified government dissolved into petty states. The other species had written them off, another promising race that burned too bright and collapsed under its own ambition. Now apparently someone had been wrong. "Show us," demanded High Justiciar Cormac, the Council's military coordinator. His species, the Thurn, had fought alongside Chen once. He at least knew what humans were capable of. The holographic display erupted to life and the chamber fell silent. The fleet stretched across 3 light hours of space. Not just warships, but mobile habitats, factory vessels, generation ships, and constructs that defied classification. At the center, a vessel so massive it had its own gravitational signature. A dreadnought that made the Council's Citadel stations look like children's toys. "By the void," someone whispered. "There's more," Zelthric continued, his voice barely steady. "They're broadcasting, on all channels, in every language. The message is simple." He activated the transmission. The hologram shifted, and there she stood. Admiral Sarah Chen, older with silver threading through her black hair and new scars crossing her weathered face, but unmistakably her. Her uniform had changed. It bore symbols no one recognized, ranks and insignias from a military that shouldn't exist. "To the Galactic Council," she began, her voice carrying the weight of centuries. "I apologize for the dramatic entrance. We've been away for a long time. 347 years by your counting. For us, well, time moves differently when you're building an empire in the dark between stars." Cormac leaned forward, his massive hands gripping the edge of his seat. "We found what we were looking for," Chen continued. "We learned how to fight the Devourers. We learned how to kill them. And we learned something else, something the Council should have understood long ago." Her expression hardened. "You can't fight an existential threat with committees and compromise. You need unity. You need purpose. You need to be willing to do what others won't." The image panned out, showing others standing behind her. Humans, yes, but not just humans. There were Vryn warriors, Thurn engineers, even Zelthric's own people, Communion philosophers, all wearing the same unknown uniform, all standing as one. "We didn't just survive out there," Chen said. "We thrived. We built a civilization that spans 60 systems. We've created weapons that can tear holes in reality and seal them behind us. We've trained soldiers who've fought horrors you can't imagine. And now," she paused, "now the Devourers have found you." Panic erupted in the chamber. The Devourers had been dormant for decades, silent, forgotten by all but historians and military planners. "They're coming," Chen stated flatly. "Our deep space monitors detected them 3 months ago. They'll reach Council space in 42 days. You can't stop them. Your fleets are designed for territorial disputes and pirate suppression, not for entities that eat space-time itself." She stepped closer to the camera, and for a moment, every delegate felt as if she were looking directly at them. "But we can stop them. That's why we're here, not to conquer, not to punish you for leaving humanity to scatter. We're here because 347 years ago I made a promise." Her voice softened just slightly. "I promised I'd come back with a solution. Well, here it is." The transmission shifted to display the fleet again, but this time tactical overlays appeared. Defense grids, patrol routes, evacuation vectors, a complete strategic plan. "We'll take command of Council defense forces," Chen explained. "We'll evacuate vulnerable worlds. will stand between you and extinction. But understand this." Her tone turned to iron. "When the Devourers are destroyed, things will change. No more fractured alliances. No more species hiding behind their own borders while others burn. We're done with that." Humanity learned that lesson the hard way. The transmission ended. The chamber remained silent for a long moment. Then Cormac stood, his massive frame drawing every eye. "I fought with Sarah Chen at the Battle of Thalos 4, he said quietly. "I watched her sacrifice 2 ships to save one of mine. I watched her make impossible decisions and live with the consequences." He looked around the chamber. "If she says the Devourers are coming, they're coming. And if she says she can stop them—" He paused. "Then I suggest we let her try." Zeltric felt his plates shift to a color of acceptance. Around the chamber, one by one, the delegates began to signal their agreement. 347 years ago, humanity had vanished into the void chasing salvation. Now they had returned, not as the fractured, desperate race that had left, but as something else entirely. Something harder. Something that had looked into the abyss and learned to stare back. Admiral Sarah Chen hadn't just kept her promise. She'd kept humanity alive.